Today I want to talk about Doe versus Ann Arbor Public Schools, a case which I think is as important for what it doesn't say as what it does say. The case centers around a student's claim of sexual harassment. But more importantly, it shows that school districts can be held liable for the actions of employees of subcontracting companies. The student in this case claimed that she was sexually assaulted by a custodian who was employed by a third-party contracted company. The school district sought dismissal of the case, which was denied. They appealed to the Court of Appeals, and the main focus of the case was whether there was any notice to the school district that they should be, that would lead them to believe that something like this could occur. The main focus became one communication that the student had with an assistant principal, which talked about the fact that this custodian had been texting her and giving her communications that were somewhat inappropriate. Eventually, the Court of Appeals found that the evidence was enough to show that there was an issue that needed to go back to the trial court, and that the communication was sufficient to have a trial and determine whether or not the school district should be held liable. What the case doesn't really get into, and I think is very important in this case, is again that this custodian wasn't an employee of Ann Arbor Public Schools. He was an employee of a third-party contracted company, and the courts didn't really deal with it, but what they did focus on, or what they did state very clearly in the opinion, was that this custodian reported to an Ann Arbor Public Schools employee. And so through that relationship and the fact that the Ann Arbor Public Schools supervised this third-party contracted employee, the courts found this to be enough to hold the district for liability. So this is always something that's important to think about or consider when you're looking at your third-party contracting or potential third-party contracting, is how these employees are who's doing the oversight, and if there is any issue or concern about a third-party contracted employee, it's important that the school district deal with it right away.